Where can I put my ass?
My first guest this evening is an Academy Award winner.
I've always considered myself, an amateur, and I'm kind of proud of that amateur status.
Ordell Roby.
Who has created such films as Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
Miss Gilmore, this is Max Cherry.
I didn't know if I ever wanted to be a professional.
Sorry, this is Special Agent Ray Nicolette with alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
It's been 3.5 years since Tarantino's Pulp Fiction.
The truth of the matter is, after you've directed 2 movies, you kind of know how to do it.
This is Tarantino in 1997.
His new movie is called Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown.
And here's a clip.
I put a cherry on top. Booyah.
That's a movie about a bad motherfucker.
He's already done Reservoir Dogs
I don't tip.
and Pulp Fiction,
This is a tasty burger.
and now he's thinking about his next film.
His latest film, Jackie Brown, opens on Christmas Day. Let's take a look.
If I have to tell you to shut up one more time, I'm gonna shut you up.
And I actually know mature black women very well.
But this time, he knows he wants to do something a little different.
As I knew I didn't want to out-epic myself. If I did an epic, I would literally have to make even a bigger epic than Pulp Fiction, and I thought that was kind of stupid.
After the crazy success of Pulp Fiction and all the acclaim and recognition that came with it, Tarantino was at an interesting point in his career. He's already proved himself as a director,
Thanks.
made a name for himself in Hollywood,
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino.
and established his style.
Having the enormous success of Pulp Fiction.
But now he wants to branch out.
Did you have any sense that I have got to step up to the plate this time?
He wants to deviate from this style and do something unexpected.
I wanted to do a smaller film. I like the more character-based. I wanted to go underneath Pulp Fiction.
He wants to break free from his amateur status and make a more serious and mature film.
If I had done Jackie Brown when I was like 48, everyone would like, oh, look at this mature Tarantino.
Max, how do you feel about getting old?
This is, he's maturing in such a, wonderful way.
Just getting old.
Motherfucker, I could do that shit right after Pulp Fiction. I didn't need to get older to do that.
I'm 56 years old.
So he decided to make Jackie Brown.
I can't blame anybody for anything I do.
Based on Elmore Leonard's book Rum Punch, it's about a middle-aged airline stewardess who gets stuck between the law, her crime boss, and an unsuspecting partner. But it's a more low-key and mature film that's less in your face, especially when it comes to violence.
That's why you came here to kill me.
And, well, this is how Tarantino views it in his career.
This is the movie I became a professional.
Graphic violence has become one of Tarantino's trademarks. It's the samurai fight in Kill Bill, the cinema scene in Inglourious Basterds, Kurt Russell getting beat up in Death Proof, and the Manson family getting killed in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Why the need for so much gruesome graphic violence? Why not let us imagine
Because
a little
it's so
of it?
much fun, Jan. Get it?
But in Jackie Brown, violence is treated very differently. It's much more held back. People aren't gunned down by machine guns, but just shot once or twice in a quiet moment, and then we move on. Only 4 people are killed, and they're all named characters that are important to the plot.
That's Beaumont.
But in Pulp Fiction, 3 unimportant goons are gunned down in the first 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
The violence in most of Tarantino's movies is fun. It's ridiculously over the top, put to a catchy song, or used as a comedic punchline.
Bye, Miss Laura.
But in Jackie Brown, this tone is completely different. Just look at this scene.
You better fucking back off, man.
And then look at this one.
Well, you gotta have an opinion. I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped?
Oh, what the fuck's happening? Oh, man. Shit, man.
They're both people getting shot unexpectedly in a car, but they feel completely different. In Pulp Fiction, there's kind of a dark comedy to it. There's tons of blood, and the characters don't really care that Marvin's been killed.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Why the fuck you do that?
Well, I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident.
They react as if they just spilled a coffee, rather than taking a life.
Chill out, man. I told you it was an accident. You went over a bump or
Hey, the
something.
car ain't hit no motherfucking bump.
But in Jackie Brown, we linger on the same shot to let this death sink in. And as ruthless as Ordell is, he doesn't take his decision lightly.
What the fuck happened to you, man?
It's a much more serious moment, and most of the deaths in Jackie Brown are similar to this. The violence isn't glorified, and it's not for us to sit back and enjoy.
See how feed us into your Nazi boss.
But it's more resonant and impactful. The kind of unrestrained ultra-violence we might expect from Tarantino is confined to the TV, rather than the actual story world, which is much more grounded than his other movies. But violence isn't the only Tarantino trademark he subverts in Jackie Brown. Just look at the usual Tarantino characters. There's bank robbers.
Nobody's going anywhere.
Hitmen.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France?
Bounty hunters.
The D is silent.
And stuntmen.
Don't cry in front of the Mexicans.
Most of Tarantino's characters are typical movie heroes. They look cool, kill the bad guy, and save the day.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
But the main characters in Jackie Brown, a mid-40s airline stewardess,
I make $16,000 plus benefits.
a 56-year-old bail bondsman,
$500,000 will always be missed.
and even the criminals aren't really that cool. Would you rather hang out with Jules,
Yeah, Negro, that's all you had to say.
or Ordell?
I've never played a character that had no redeeming social qualities whatsoever until this guy.
De Niro plays a bumbling, incompetent former bank robber who's just got out of jail.
It's kind of like I want to say a loser, but kind of.
It was only 2 years after Heat and Casino where De Niro played a suave, well-dressed gangster in his prime. But in Jackie Brown, he's a slow and bumbling sidekick.
One of my favorite directors is Sergio Leone, and I always considered I was doing to traditional gangster films, like, you know, Scorsese kind of Goodfellas kind of movies, what he was doing to traditional westerns when he did his spaghetti western.
In the 90s, Tarantino was the new kid on the block. He took the crime genre and reinvented it in his image.
I'd created a subgenre in gangster films that did not exist before.
His arrival marks a departure away from the kind of Scorsese and De Niro crime movie that was the norm for so long.
In the 90s, that existentialism has been replaced by irony, and so that everything has quotation marks around.
So when he cast De Niro as a bumbling sidekick to Samuel L. Jackson, is this Tarantino saying, step aside Scorsese, it's my time now?
Your films are not in quotation marks, they are meant.
By that point, to do kind of a Scorsese kind of thing was like almost passé.
I mean, there's certainly room for both directors in the genre, but it's hard not to see the meta element of this casting, especially because Tarantino has always had an awareness of how people's perception of a certain actor can affect how they understand the character they play.
When you did Travolta, when you brought him in for Pulp Fiction, did you have any sense that you wanted to recreate his career, or you wanted to bring his career back?
Tarantino grew up loving blaxploitation movies, a lot of them starring Pam Grier.
Downtown LA at that time, the whole Broadway area with all the old theaters and everything, that was like a black Hollywood.
He even wrote her into some dialogue in Reservoir Dogs.
What's the name of the chick who played Christy Love?
Pam Grier.
No, it wasn't Pam Grier. Pam Grier was the other one. Pam Grier did the film.
But by 1997, she was in her mid-40s and wasn't getting many roles.
I said, okay, who is an actress that's in her mid-40s that looks like she's in her mid-30s and also just looks like she could handle anything? And I go, that sounds like Pam Grier.
It's the same with Robert Forster.
I know that Robert Forster's still there and he's still kicking butt.
Nicolette is a cool guy who wants to enforce the law, but doesn't have all that much screen time in the film.
I actually kind of needed an actor who could, like, show some, some star shine.
So how do you get audiences to quickly understand his character? You cast Batman.
I'm Batman.
This is a trick Tarantino has pulled his whole career.
Them motherfuckers ain't here to buy no mandingos.
David Carradine was best known for playing a kung fu star in the 70s, so it makes sense to cast him in Kill Bill.
If you're my age, you grew up with the TV show Kung Fu.
DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie's status in Hollywood helped shape their characters in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Rick is the one who pretends to be the badass cowboy, the guy who can do this and the guy who can do that. And Cliff is the guy who's the badass, who can do this and can do that.
This is all to say, casting is one of Tarantino's strengths as a director. And with a cast like this, it's certainly not lost in Jackie Brown. Another one of his strengths is the suspense scene. Two hitmen arriving at an apartment.
Hey, kid.
Mr. Blonde dancing in a warehouse.
I don't know why I came here tonight.
Major Marquis Warren, baiting the general.
I know the day he died.
By this point, the Tarantino set piece is one of his trademarks.
Hey, keep chilling.
An unknown star. Mounting suspense.
This is a tasty burger. Don't burn me, please.
Leading to a confrontation.
So what you gonna do, old man? I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
And then... These scenes aren't so suspenseful because we don't know what's going to happen, but because we do.
When I lay my vengeance upon thee.
And Tarantino teases us and builds up to this final climactic moment.
Ezekiel 25:17.
Every movie of his has this kind of scene, except Jackie Brown. The closest we get here is a money exchange sequence in the mall.
I think I like that suit. I'd like to try it on.
First of all, we revisit this scene from multiple perspectives, Jackie's, Max's, and Lewis's. Tarantino is restricting his non-linear writing to just this one scene, rather than across the whole movie. And it doesn't end in some climactic act of violence, but just Max calmly driving away with the money. And when there is violence, there's no build-up to it. It just happens suddenly, with no fanfare. This sequence is a show of restraint and maturity from Tarantino as a filmmaker. And this is what Jackie Brown represents, or rather could have represented, in his filmography.
You know, he's growing. And I think this movie shows a great maturity on his part.
It's more low-key, contemplative, and slower paced.
It's very possible that Ordell's killed somebody.
The main characters aren't typical movie-star protagonists, the violence isn't glorified, and the set piece isn't constructed to squeeze every bit of suspense out of these relatively simple setups.
I was trying to just dig deeper into character and entrench myself more.
It marked a coming of age of his cinematic style. He's already proved he can direct a movie, and some pretty good ones at that.
And a $5 shake.
But for Jackie Brown, he wanted to prove he doesn't just rely on pop culture references and stylized violence for his films to work.
I never had any intention of trying to top Pulp Fiction with Jackie Brown. I wanted to go underneath Pulp Fiction with Jackie Brown.
The characters don't talk about social observations like tipping or milkshake prices.
Did you just order a $5 shake?
But they talk about deeper topics like getting old.
What am I doing this? It's 19 years of this shit?
The pop culture references aren't in your face, but in the background.
Yeah, I can hear the Supremes in the background.
It's Max in a music store or coming out of the cinema, rather than spending 5 minutes talking about Madonna.
Like a Virgin's not about some sensitive girl.
The characters aren't in stylized suits or kung fu gear, but normal everyday clothes.
Wearing a dress.
Well, a suit, this is one I had my eye on. You know, it's like, excuse me.
It's the small, understated moments, like going to a close-up here.
Who's that big mandingo-looking nigga you got up there on that picture with you?
That's Winston. He works here.
Y'all tight?
Yeah.
But you was boss though, right?
Yeah.
We recognize Max's authority without him being a macho cool guy.
We will be cruel to the Germans.
And the opening scene is a small character moment with no dialogue and just the now iconic music.
Oh, you guys like to tell jokes and giggle and kid around, huh? Giggling like a bunch of young bros in the schoolyard.
With Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino didn't play by the rules. He took an unorthodox structural approach and established his voice as a filmmaker.
All right, what's done is done. I need you cool. Are you cool?
In Pulp Fiction, everything is bigger and better. More style, more violence, more clever dialogue and pop culture references.
I don't think Buddy Holly's much of a waiter.
But with Jackie Brown, Tarantino slows down and takes his time.
Jackie Brown.
And did this new approach pay off? Well, yes and no.
Jackie Brown shows Tarantino at his best, savoring the words and little details of behavior that make his characters so individual and original and memorable.
Some liked it.
He's just a darn good writer.
Some not so much.
I think it's a tall tale. It's a little long.
And some were just interested in the hats.
The only thing I want to talk about is the hats.
If you want classic out-of-the-box Tarantino, that's not what Jackie Brown offers.
How does your client plead?
Your Honor, she wishes to stand mute.
But that's not what Tarantino set out to do. He set out to make more of a hangout movie.
The first hour of the movie is just getting to know who these people are.
And because of this, it is quite slow-paced. And it is more methodical.
Instead of hurtling toward a routine ending like a lot of caper films, Jackie Brown is about the process, not the payoff. This is a film that's too good to be in a hurry.
He wanted to go underneath Pulp Fiction, and he certainly did. Until Cliff Booth drove aimlessly through LA, you'd be hard-pressed to find a Tarantino film that takes its time as much as Jackie Brown. It relishes in the small moments. It's not in a rush to get to the next scene. It just tells quite a simple, straightforward story in an uncharacteristically simple, straightforward way.
I wasn't trying to blow your mind with Jackie Brown.
If we engage in some cinema speculation, we can imagine a universe where Tarantino embraced the tone of Jackie Brown.
I'll send you a postcard.
Where he embraced realism and deeper moments, rather than graphic violence and pop culture references.
Will you?
I sure will, partner.
But that's not what we got, because his next film was this. Kill Bill doubled down on the violences, on the references, on everything that makes a Tarantino movie a Tarantino movie. Jackie Brown has nods to blaxploitation movies, but it's very much its own thing. Whereas Kill Bill isn't exactly subtle in its genre influences.
Each person on her death list,
I should have been motherfucking Black Mom.
each person kind of represents a different genre.
The violence is very stylized, and it's full of in-your-face editing moments. Title cards, references to old films, and even has an anime sequence. It opens with this on-screen text. Straight away we establish the main driving force of the movie, revenge.
That woman deserves her revenge.
But it's also a Star Trek reference.
Revenge is a dish that is best served cold.
From the opening text, Kill Bill has established itself as a film not only about violence for revenge, but also entrenches itself in pop culture.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
And isn't that Tarantino's style in a nutshell? Violence and pop culture.
I went on what the movie advertisements refer to as a roaring rampage of revenge.
But Jackie Brown doesn't have much violence. It doesn't have many pop culture references.
Cassius Clay, Sonny Liston, Joe Louis.
Ever since Kill Bill, his movies have had all the trademarks. The Tarantino name has almost become a genre in and of itself. Tarantino's take on a 70s exploitation movie.
And who the hell is Stuntman Mike?
Tarantino's take on a World War II movie.
Gorlami.
Tarantino's take on a Western.
You have my curiosity.
Ain't nobody on my head, bushwhacker.
Now you have my attention.
These films have all the trademarks and show little restraint in the way Jackie Brown did. It wasn't until Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that he seemed to reevaluate this style.
To my wife and all my sweethearts. May they never meet.
Where he almost became a self-aware parody of himself.
To my wife and all my sweethearts. May they never meet.
But if we go back to 1997, after the success of Pulp Fiction, Tarantino could do anything he set his mind to.
Is the next film going to be in the crime genre?
But he did the unexpected.
Right now, I don't know what it's going to be.
He wasn't trying to be cool or witty. He didn't want to become the guy who just sticks to his one style.
I'm in here for the long haul, and I'm going to make individualistic movies.
So he pivoted to a more mature and reserved approach.
I can do it, Max. I know I can.
Jackie Brown isn't just Tarantino's take on a blaxploitation movie, but a more sophisticated character study with themes of aging, loyalty, and redemption.
I just can't do it without you.
It's more than a simple genre imitation, but something wholly unique, both in the context of blaxploitation movies and Tarantino's career.
I'm Max Cherry. I'm your bail bondsman.
Jackie Brown might not have the energy or irony of his other movies, but Tarantino delivers a film that feels both personal and universal.
I could give you a lift home if you like.
It invites us to appreciate the quieter moments.
You're waiting for the scenes to, just like hang out with the characters.
When human complexities and relationships take center stage, rather than the cool factor.
You're having screwdrivers with Ordell, all right? You're drinking white wine with Jackie, all right? You're taking bong hits with Melanie.
I wouldn't exactly call Tarantino a subtle director, but Jackie Brown reminds us there's value in restraint, proving that sometimes less truly is more. I'm Lawrence, and this has been Archer Green, and thank you for watching.